All right, Colin. So here's the wall of Criterion goodness, just since you were sharing. So again, like I said, I started at spine number 1 and ran all the way to spine 100, forgetting the exception of the Europe trilogy by Lars von Trier. So I just kind of wanted to show you, that all of this is real. And it was such a joy and honor to be able to meet you. I told my wife about meeting you and how much fun I had. Just being able to talk about a passion. As we go down here, you can see I have Walker, which is the other Alex Cox movie, right next to Mishima. And then Vampire, a silent film about vampires, of course. Another great piece of cinema is The Friends of Eddie Coyle, right next to Benjamin Button. Close up, Abbas Kiarostami. I actually went back to Barnes & Noble today and picked up the Abbas Kiarostami box of his early works. Again, we talked about Kronos. We have Carlos, about Carlos the Jackal. If you've ever seen that, that's pretty amazing. Phantom Carriage may be up your alley, even though it's a silent film. Of course, on a little bit sadder note, I have right next to Repo Man, I have Showa, which is about the Nazis in World War II. One of my favorite films, Thief, with James Caan. Again, we talked about Persona, and about these two ladies who you couldn't determine whether or not they were in love or not, or whether they were a figment of one another's imagination. This is Ingmar Bergman. Again, I also have a lot of black and white films thanks to my wife. This is the Dietrich and von Sternberg box set, with a couple of titles in here out of print, Scarlet Empress being one of them. Of course, we talked about Japanese cinema as well. We have Tampopo, which is probably one of my favorite movies because it deals with falling in love over food. Akira Kurosawa's Dreams. If you've never seen that, you owe that to yourself to look at that. We talked about Blood Simple, Coen Brothers film. Again, another one right down the street. Inside Llewyn Davis. Again, Mulholland Drive, because I'm a giant David Lynch fan. Love all of his work. I'm also into Jacques Demy. So this is the entire Jacques Demy catalog, including a separate title of Umbrellas of Cherbourg, because I didn't realize I was going to have it twice. The World of Wong Kar-wai box. I actually got that box for $9.99, if you can believe it. The entire works of Agnes Varda, a French filmmaker, for $8. Those were just unbelievable buys. I bought this at the 50 off sale last summer, the Essential Fellini box, because it holds some of the pretty much all of Fellini's work. And then going down here, of course, we have Okja, Devil in a Blue Dress, Hotel du Nord, which is really, really good. That's a good French film about kind of like how a hotel kind of become like an overrun flop house, if you will. The Infernal Affairs trilogy, right there. Wally, of course. Again, Imitation of Life, which is kind of where I started at my wife's request, because she likes old black and white films. Another Scorsese great in After Hours. Of course, we've got Wachowski Brothers and Bound. Risky Business. Farewell My Concubine, which is my foray into Chinese cinema, right next door to Happiness and Gummo, probably something that's more up your alley. And Drugstore Cowboy. Let's see, so we've got Honora, and then the 4K version of Sorcerer. Again, another film noir in the Big Heat, right next to Carnal Knowledge. And then what I ended up picking up today, I picked up Deep Crimson. I picked up Nightmare Alley the other day, and I picked up a brief history of violence for Cronenberg, just so I could complete his. And then, of course, I picked up The Shrouds today when we were talking, and Abbas Kiarostami's box. And then also, if you're a crazy fan of Unsolved Mysteries, I have the entire Unsolved Mysteries box set, which is on top of my Arrow Video Store limited edition box. And I think you asked me whether or not it was the one with the actual cover on it, and I don't believe it is, but I found it for like $10. So that kind of rounds out some of what I have up here in this room, but just as a sweeping overview, just to kind of show you how and why I asked you for a recommendation. When you get to the point that you and I are at with our collections, it's hard to really know what you want next because there's so much out there. If you've never seen any of Steven Soderbergh's work, this is one of his first, called Sex, Lies, and Videotape. He actually lived in Baton Rouge for a little while, from what I understand, and it turns out that my cousin was a college roommate with Steven Soderbergh. So that's just an interesting thing that I just found out like a few days ago. But I highly recommend Steven Soderbergh. He's a great piece of American filmmaking. So anyway, I hope this video finds you well, and we'll just continue to talk about our collections. And again, thank you for sharing, your desire for this stuff, just like me, and hope to talk again soon. All right, take it easy.